of tankoffs is done, and the Utah Jazz came out on top or on bottom, however you want to look at it, but it was good. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, obviously. If you're on Twitch, follow. If you're on the podcast, give me a 5-star review. I'd appreciate it. All right, so the Utah Jazz. This was one I did not expect. It's crazy. There's ones that I expected losses that they won, and then there's ones where I expected wins when they lost. The season's upside down. Winning is losing, losing is winning. But at least the things worked out how they were supposed to tonight in this one. By the way, happy to be back at the home base. I was on a business trip, and I wanted to make sure I got a video out. I just want to give a shout out to that thumbnail that I did in Microsoft Paint. Some great work in that one. No one knew who made that thumbnail, but it was me. And I'm happy that you guys all watched, so thank you. But anyways... and this might not be quite as long of a one tonight. I just want to talk about two players and just absolutely how important this was to the Jazz. Just incredible. Now, Utah had that win against the Golden State Warriors. That's the one that's been really hard. They should have lost that game, somehow won. And so they really had to lose to the Kings, which they did. And I guess this one as well, because what's on the line? It's that number 4 seed. And what's exciting about this loss tonight, this is pure tank. What's exciting too is, outside of just the fact that the tank was successful tonight, is that we don't have to worry about tanking anymore. We've got like 9 games left, I believe. If you go to Tankathon here, 21-52. Yep. So there are 9 games left. 9 games left in the tank, and Utah, what's exciting is look at this remaining schedule strength. Utah has the number 1 most difficult schedule remaining in the NBA. And you look at the Sacramento Kings, 25. Utah's easiest opponents are the Pelicans, who will beat them, and Memphis, who Utah has not been able to beat all season. They are going to tank it out. I think Utah's going to go on a 9-game losing streak. They have to. And if they do, I think they can 100% overtake the Sacramento Kings on that number 4 spot, because Utah sits at 5, 2 games back. Sacramento, let's go back. Sacramento, like I said, they have Brooklyn, Pelicans, and 2 games against the hapless Golden State Warriors. They can win 2 of those. And if they win 3, Utah's in great shape. Great shape. Sacramento keeps winning. It's really exciting. 5-5 in their last 10. Utah now is at 2-8. And I have to say, I don't know. If Utah wins another game, it's over. This really depends on Utah losing out for the rest of the season. But if they can just keep this going, there's a shot. Now, it's a long shot. That's 2 games. 2 games is a lot. Whether you're trying to make that up in like actual playoff races, or if you're or just trying to jump in the lottery. And you could argue in the lottery it's even harder, So anyways, massive job by the Jazz tonight. Incredibly done. They now are in very solid opportunity to take this 4th spot. I think these top 3 are pretty much locked in. Wizards win tonight. I don't really see these guys winning another game. But you look at Sacramento, 5-5 in their last 10. Pretty incredible. Incredible. And if you look at what happens if they get to the 4 spot, they jump 6 percentage points to get into the top 4. So a 48% shot to be in the top 4. That's 6 percentage. Yeah, it's not a crazy amount. So if Utah doesn't take the 4, it's not the end of the world, but it would be nice. And then 2.5% or 2 percentage points for that number 1 overall pick. The flattening of the odds sucks. It just does. Had the flattening of the odds not happened, Utah would probably have tanked even harder this year. They probably would have traded Markkanen. Who knows? They can keep him now and be happy. If they win the lottery this year, next year is going to be so incredible. I mean, next year is going to be so much fun anyways, but if they win the lottery next year, it's just going to be remarkable. And I know that's kind of what we say every night. Does not stop it from being true. What is going on here? Okay, so we got to reload here because this is the lottery simulator. It's pretty darn great. I do want to talk about two things. There wasn't a lot to say about this one. Well, I guess 3 players. First, let's talk about, in order of interest tonight, third most interesting thing tonight was Cody Williams, who just continues to play pretty solid basketball. Didn't hit a 3 tonight. That's fine. But he played a lot of point and he handles the ball a lot. It's great to see. He's proving and showing what he can do. Tonight, 24 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. He's filling the stat sheet, something he did not do last year, hardly at all. And now he's just consistently doing it. And even on a night where he didn't hit the 3, he went 11 for 20 from the field. He's finding ways to score and be an effective player for the Jazz. I wrote about this in the SLC Dunk recap. I had recap tonight for the team, for the SLC Dunk team, that is. The biggest thing with Cody Williams is the confidence. He is out there playing with a lot of comfort and poise, and it is just not something we saw last year at all. It was just tentative and nervous and playing not to lose, playing not to make a mistake, playing just basically, fear culture stuff, which is always bad. Now he's confident. He's not scared about going to the bench. That's one of the big benefits of this tank, has been the allowing Cody Williams to just develop, which he wasn't really getting a ton of opportunity before, especially last season. He got some, but he got sick. Remember, he missed like the last 6 weeks of the season. He did not play well, so there were a lot of times where he would show up, not show up. It was not good. And then this year, to start the season, we saw a little bit of that to start, and it slowly got better. There is a dunk at early part of the season, I think around like game 10 or 15. I'll have to look up and see. But it truly felt like it was the turning point for Cody Williams when he made that dunk, and it was truly a poster, and it's like it shattered the wall for him, shattered the glass ceiling, whatever. Now he's just continuing to add to his game, and he's got to improve still for him to get rotation minutes next year. I'm not convinced he even plays regularly next year. Probably not if you're betting on it. But if he can improve his jump shot where he can be a consistent, reliable 3-point shooter, especially with catch and shoots, because that's more of what he's going to do, then I don't know why he wouldn't get minutes on the floor. The shooting is such an important part of the game. And then when you add what he can do, where he can be a release valve when you've got, Keontae George being double teamed, having Cody Williams on the floor is nice because you can throw him the ball near half court and he can dribble it up and initiate offense. And that sounds like a small thing, but playoff series have been won and lost with teams not being able to overcome full court doubles and presses and things like that. That, every possession matters in the playoffs, and having a guy that can handle the ball and initiate offense is not nothing. I would say it's more than that. It's pretty important. And on top of that, he can drive, he dunks it. We're seeing that he can shoot the ball. His passing is solid. He's a stocks guy now where he's getting, a block and 2 steals. That's great. It's just impressive stuff from Cody Williams, so we got to be happy about that. Point of interest number 2 on the countdown. Ace Bailey. The shooting was not great tonight. 1 for 6 from 3 is not what we've seen recently, but you're not going to have perfect shooting nights every night, and that's just basketball. 7 for 19 from the field, but what I did want to say is just look at how many highlight dunks from Ace Bailey were tonight. Driving dunk, driving reverse dunk, alley-oop layup, reverse dunk, cutting dunk, driving dunk. He is just a highlight reel every play. His shot was not falling tonight, but the dunks, you know what was falling? The dunk. Oh, that was his 3. But this was the one that was just awesome. Look at this. Oh, no, that was not it. But that was a nice dunk. It's this driving reverse dunk. Look at this. He gets it from the corner, just drives. He's got a good first step. It's like a double clutch reverse from the baseline. Awesome. He's just so much fun to watch. He's getting better every night. It's actually, we're to the point where I'm surprised when he doesn't have a good shooting night. Tonight was a surprise. I'm like consistently expecting Ace Bailey now to be a high-level shooter. And tonight, you know, like everyone has, they have off shooting nights. He still scored 15 points, grabbed 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and just 1 turnover. And this, it's just an important thing to consider with basketball. We can't just look at shooting as the only element of a good night. Is it one of the more important factors? Yes, it's up there. If you argue what's the most important factor, it's efficiency in your scoring. But it's not the only thing in this pie chart. The pie chart is filled with a lot of other things. 50% of the game is on the defensive end. And look at that, 2 steals and 2 blocks. 2 stocks for Ace. Pretty great. It's just the defensive impact he has is starting to be extremely palpable. Like you feel it when you're watching. You can see it. He's making these big time plays. These blocks are just impressive. He's such an athletic player. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing if he gets into the dunk contest next year. I think that would be fun. Look, that was just a simple, that's the Karl Malone block right there, by the way. For those who know, if you know, you know. But this right here, Karl Malone used to do that like once a game where it was like he blocked it before it came up. And then this right here was great too. So this is in isolation and just blocks the reverse. By the way, this is not easy because the player, I think that's Sharif Cooper. He's doing the right thing by using the rim to kind of protect the ball, and Ace still blocks the shot. That is like, that looks easy. That ain't easy. That is not easy. So impressive stuff from Ace Bailey to just improve not only as a shooter, which tonight obviously wasn't good, but overall he's been great. But also just as a defensive player. It's not showing up with the Nationals yet. They're not seeing it just yet. It will soon because it's great. Now, number 1, and it's why I gave him the thumbnail. I usually like to give the thumbnail to kind of the star of the game. And tonight it was Blake Hinson. In 11 minutes, in like a 20-plus point blowout. Look at this, 23-point blowout, which, by the way, Utah got close. And it was because of this guy. What a steal for Utah to get Blake Hinson. And we've talked about this before. A lot of the teams that have tanked, you don't realize that there are more benefits than just your pick. That is the most important thing. And that was the thing that had me losing my mind the first 2 seasons of this rebuild. But there are elements of the rebuild and the tank, whatever you want to call it, that the people who don't follow it closely aren't realizing. Only the diehards like the hoops nerds who watch this show and the Jazz fans who've been watching this regularly is, you know, OKC, we've talked about Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, guys that came from the G League. Blake Hinson's kind of looking like the Utah Jazz's version of them, where, you know, you have time to play these guys. You have time to like cycle out guys from the G League. We saw Anderson, Garcia, I believe it was, didn't work out. It's fine. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the Jazz summer league team, and maybe he'll be at training camp, and we'll see if he earns a spot on the Jazz. We saw that his hustle stats and defensive stats, there were some interesting elements to Garcia's game. But the one that's been undoubtedly a success is Blake Hinson. 6'8" Blake Hinson. He's a big body, and what he does is just shoot the lights out. Tonight, 4 for 5 from 3, 6 for 8 from the field. He had 21 points, a career high, just 1 assist and 1 block and 21 points. All he does is straight up rocket launcher from the 3-point line, and he just absolutely destroys. I cannot believe how good of a shooter this guy is. He is just, and let's hope it carries over in the next season, because he's such a good shooter to the point where you've got to find a way to get him on the floor. If he's shooting like this, because you look at these stats for this season, he's playing 20 minutes per game, averaging 9.6 points. But look at the efficiency from three, 48%. I don't know if he can keep that up, but I'll be honest, it looks good when he shoots it, and the types of threes he's taking are just the standard catch and shoot three, open catch and shoot, and he has pretty darn good range. Like, he's taking these 3 to 5 feet behind the 3-point line at times, and he can shoot it from anywhere. By the way, that is another element of shooting that probably needs to be talked about a little bit more. There's guys that can just shoot the corner three, and then there's guys that can shoot it from everywhere, and Hinson can shoot it from everywhere. So it means he can run every element of the Jazz motion offense. He can be in any position. Certain offenses, if you can't shoot a three, if you can only shoot a corner, then you can only do certain things within the offense. And it does make certain players a little limited. It's why some players, we probably don't understand why they're not on the floor. Well, sometimes you can't run the complete offense if certain guys can't do certain things at their position where the Jazz want them to do those certain things. So I would not be surprised, like two guys that, they aren't guys that Utah got in the draft, and they're not I am a draft zealot. It's the thing I think you have to build around to be like long-term sustainable success and actual championship contention is the draft. But I do think that if you can find these guys and make them role players, like Svi Mikhailuk and Blake Hinson, not the sexiest names, and probably not a lot of people outside of Utah are even know that those players are on the Jazz or even who they are. But Jazz fans have seen it, and both of them are absolute snipers. And so Utah has this team now next year. And by the way, I was never anti-Svi. I was anti-playing Svi. It drove me crazy. We just got to make that clear. Why were we playing him? I don't know. But we've now realized why we shouldn't have been playing him is because he's good, a good shooter. So Svi Mikhailuk, Blake Hinson, they will play next year. They are smart players. I would argue that Blake Hinson might be more important than Svi Mikhailuk when you're shooting 48% from three. That is wild. And for him to be 6'8", if they're playing, there's certain matchups where Hinson could be a real game changer. He's not the greatest defender. He's a little slow. Like if I was Blake Hinson this offseason, he could absolutely earn a contract with the Jazz, but I would argue he needs to probably drop 5 to 10 pounds, and that would be perfect. I mean, he's got such a good frame. You just want to make sure he's in the best shape possible because, my gosh, that guy can shoot the lights out. And when you've got a guy like that where he's just automatic from three, that is a weapon. So, and the fact that he's 6'8", I mean, I was going to say, like, you play against certain teams with certain matchups. If there's I gotta stop saying like, ugh. If there's a slow power forward on the floor, you can put Hinson on that player, and it's awesome because then he can guard that player. And it just, there's just going to be advantages to having Hinson. The biggest one is that he is just absolutely a floor spreader. And if you do not guard him, that's your choice, but it's a bad one because he will knock that three down. And what's great is that it's just very clear that he plays within the offense very well. It's great to see. So I'm very excited about Blake Hinson. I do want to watch the defense. We have to have a better defense next year. And every single player, it comes with accountability at every position to defend your whatever it is. If you're playing man-to-man, guard your yard. It's your responsibility to guard your man or your zone, depending on what the Jazz are doing offensively. And if you do not, the Jazz have a lot of talent, and you will get benched. And so we're gonna see levels of intensity next year that I think people are going to be excited about. And one thing that Will Hardy does that kind of drove me a little crazy to start this season was the meritocracy that a little frustrating. I wanted to see Ace Bailey starting soon, but you can't argue that, Ace has earned his his role. And next year, you are going to have to earn your spot on that starting unit. If Utah wins the lottery, and let's say they draft either DeBonsa or Peterson or Boozer or Wilson or whoever, everyone's going to have to earn their starting spot. And I think it's going to be pretty clear who the favorites are to start for the starting five. Pretty clear: Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson, and Walker Kessler. But, you know, if you have Darren Peterson and AJ DeBonsa, one or the other on the Jazz, it's going to make for an interesting battle to see who starts. I have to say, I mean, the more I see the way Ace defends, I think that defense is going to keep him on the floor more than anything, because we've seen what he can do shooting the ball when he's open, and he's going to be open a lot because teams are going to guard Markkanen. They're going to guard Jaren Jackson. He's going to get open shots, and we're seeing him knock them down. So Ace just has to get in the lab this summer, get in even better shape, get some strength, work on the consistency with the shooting even more, because we've seen what he can do. The Jazz are going to be awesome. Burning the midnight oil. Absolutely. Welcome, Robert, Hall of Fame, my man. Welcome, welcome. So just a fun night. I think that's going to be all tonight in terms of show, but we do got to see the lottery. Let's get that started. And we're going to do Spot Track or Fanspo. It is the best one. It's really fun. I'm always pro Tankathon. They run like the best site, and they bring so much to the table with just kind of following how this works. But Fanspo's done a great job. All right, we're doing the dramatic one. Let's see. Miami Heat there. Look at that. It's kind of adjusted a little. All right, let's see if the lottery was today. Charlotte stays. I think this is the Heat. Yep. And then isn't this Portland? Yep. We just want it to stay the same. I don't have this memorized completely, but it's looking like it's holding chalk. Let's see. Where we got to get... Okay, this is where you get scared. If Utah's here, boom. I think this is one of the more likely spots is right here for Utah. Right here is... If we, on lottery night, don't see the Jazz at 7, get excited. Get excited. Pacers keep their pick. Milwaukee jumps. That's crazy. And the Wizards finally get their number 1 pick. Although they've already gotten that before. John Wall. Well, there you go. Utah keeps their pick, gets number 7, and I bet they draft Michael Brown. That's my prediction. I'm still big on Nate Ament. I don't care. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm sticking with it. All right, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars tonight. Let's give a shout out to Justin Time, Justin Salas, see ya, Alexa Later, Shake 'em and Bake 'em, KSN, Ryan Perry, the legend, the name means king, Just Buckets 22, Ball So Hard Ball Stat, Jace is the Ace Garner, Steve Areno Stusser, Let Him Cook Sturdy Pots, Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under, Tyson Price, the price is right, Jordan the GOAT, Besserell, Christian House Money to Haas, Robert Hall of Fame making an appearance tonight, Jazz Forge, the OG, and Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur. You know what, guys? I'm going to refresh this just real quick, just because I was on a trip. Okay, we're good. Just want to make sure we give props to everybody. There we go. Just Buckets JB. Sorry, my man. All right. Let's see. That's it. That's it. Like the video, subscribe.